Hey there, guys. Welcome back to Get Going Fast, where we're getting into this excellent hobby AI in a quick and hopefully efficient manner in which you might actually learn something along the way, if you could imagine such a thing. Hey-oh. So we today are going to be looking at something called a Chatterbox, which is another one of these new text-to-speech models that come out. We're getting a lot of these days, and you know, each one of them brings a little something that's better than the other, but I don't quite feel that we've hit the holy grail yet. But you're going to find that Chatterbox actually has some interesting stuff in it, which I think will definitely be good for some of your projects that you're working on. And it has an MIT license, which means that you can use this stuff for production and all that stuff as well. So we're going to end up taking a look at this. We're going to have two things we're going to have. We're going to have actual text-to-speech voice cloning, so we're going to be able to upload voices that we want to hear and have them text done in that style. Now I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, it's not going to be as excellent as you think it is going to be, but it's not bad, and this does have some controls here to help kind of get the inflections. Okay, so we're going to take a look at that, as well as also going to have this voice to voice, which I think is kind of one of the more interesting things. So you're going to be able to throw in some text that a video is saying, and you'll be able to do it in repeat that same voice with a different voice. Okay, again, not perfect. You're not going to throw it in there and have Donald Trump say it in a perfect Donald Trump voice, but you are going to find interesting blends of stuff. And we'll talk about this, but I think if anything, really what you're going to find with this app is that you're going to be able to create unique voices to use in your avatar, which, to be honest, is actually makes this pretty valuable, because the truth of the matter is you can't really do production level stuff when you're using someone else's voice because of copyright stuff. But if you take someone else's voice that you like and you blend it with something else and you actually come up with a unique voice that is based on this, is interesting, hey, yo, you're gold. Okay, and I think that's what you're going to be able to do with this app. So we are going to take a look at this. We're going to install two versions of it, a Gradio app and how to run ComfyUI nodes, and I'm going to tell you which one I think is best. But before we do that, I do want to thank you for liking the video and sharing it with your friends and your neighbors, chasing down that person that just you ain't talked to in years, that just don't want to talk to you, and be like, listen, I'm sorry for the past. If there was just one thing I could say to you after all these years, and they're like, what? Just say it. You'd be like, get going fast. You know, AI, have you heard about it? Come, brother, let me give you the laurels of peace here. Doves, come and work on this stuff with me, and I'm sure that they'll accept that. That is a very loving thing that who could resist? So thanks for doing that. Thanks for being peacemaker. Thanks for spreading the word and getting the excellent news out there. All right, well, we're going to move on with getting into Chatterbox, just as I've been a little bit of a Chatterbox here today. I've been inspired by the app. That's why I'm talking so much. And we're going to get this going in Python and get you on the road to understanding how this all stuff works. So let's just go ahead and do it, yo. Okay, so let's get going. So as usual, we're going to pop over to our browser, and we're going to be looking for this repository. So to find it real easy, we just going to type in Chatterbox GitHub. Okay, and here it's from Resemble AI. Clack. That was a clickety clack, by the way. Okay, and we're going to get here, and we're just going to end up cloning this repository, but we don't just do it because it's there. Okay, we do it because the instructions tell us to. When I first started working with AI, I'd get in here and I'd grab it. I was like, oh, you gotta get everything. But you learn you don't need to do that. You just need to grab it when it tells you to, and a lot of times it does tell you to. But so we're going to be following this installation instructions here. You're going to notice down here you can look at it. It does say that there's a pip install. I don't know how that would work. We're not even going to bother. We do everything manual on this site. So we're just going to go ahead and follow the installing from source. Okay. And you notice it's going to have us doing a Conda environment. So everything's actually here. A lot of times when you're running these things, they don't tell you to create the virtual environment. So you have to remember this. Say, hey, Gary would be very proud of me that I've remembered that we need a virtual environment, even though the repository doesn't say that. And I am proud of you when you do that, by the way. Sniff. Okay, but this one actually has it, so it's going to have us use a Conda environment. Okay, probably the reason is because they want to force this Python 3.11. So nice thing about Conda is that you can make certain that you're using the exact Python you need, where even if it's not installed. Whereas when we use our Python virtual environments, you need to have it installed on your system, right? So we'll go through this. It's really not a difficult thing. I'm going to show you a few things here when it comes to this pip install. That is a mistake that will throw you off as an NVIDIA user. It will mess you up. So honestly, this is probably going to work for AMD users as well. So great for you guys who don't have NVIDIA cards. But those of you who do, there is a little something that we're going to have to take a look at here. But we'll get to that. Now, before we do all that, I want to point out that we do have this over here at the GetGoingFast site. You can actually just go to chatterbox.getgoingfast.pro. Okay, and it brings you to this page. And if you're a FarmHam member over here, you can get it for free. So that's the beautiful thing about being a member over at the GetGoingFast.pro site is you pay like $12 for a month, and you can get all this stuff for free, and this will actually install it for you. So everything that we're going to do, it's you've got a little quick installer here, and you can honestly learn from it. There's lots of different ways you can use this. You could use it to learn from it, or you just want to get going fast, which, for my money, I just want to get going fast. So download that and install that. All right, so we're going to go back here, though, to our installation. And let's go ahead. We need to find a directory to put this in. Okay, now, as usual, I always encourage you guys to keep your systems somewhat organized. So you should have a folder probably that says AI tools, and then under that AI tools, create a folder called Chatterbox. Okay, you can do it with all your apps. Now, I'm going to pop over to our command line. I'm just installing it into a temp directory here because I'm going to delete this when we're done. And I've already installed it, but I'm doing this for your sake. So what we're going to do, you find the directory you're going to install it in, okay? And then we're going to pop back over to our browser. Again, we're not worrying about any of this stuff up here. That's all nonsense to us. We're installing from source. So we're going to go grab this, create a virtual environment. Now notice they put a hashtag there. That hashtag means that it's commented out, and they just put that there. So if you just copy this straight into a this would actually be a Linux thing, but if you straight into a script, it would not create the environment unless you wanted it to. So all you do is delete the hashtag. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy conda create. Okay, we're leaving the hashtag behind because it don't mean nothing to us. We're going to go back over to our command line. Okay. Now from here, you can just control V, and you'll notice it's using Conda. So Conda is, of course, our mini Conda. That's how we create our virtual environments. One of the things you can do to see if you have it installed is just type the word Conda, and it should bring up stuff like this. If it says that it is not found or it's not a familiar command, that means you don't have mini Conda installed, and you need to get that installed. The key to working with AI is that you have to get your system set up properly, okay? Then all this other stuff will work. In fact, you can head over here to checker.getgoingfast.pro, and I have a free script that if you just sign up as a free member, you can get this, and this will actually, you just run it, it will check your system to see what you have and don't have installed. Okay, after that, if I've got all these tutorials that you can go through for free, or you can go to setup.getgoingfast.pro, and I have over here a script that I've created that you can get as a member, or you can buy it, and it will actually set up your system for you so that everything will work in the future. Okay, very cool. But you need to have Conda. Okay, the main thing is you got to have Conda. System pollution is very real, and by using virtual environments, it keeps us from installing stuff into the wrong places and causing a mess. Okay, but I have lots of videos talking about system pollution. So, all right, anyway, so we hit Control V. So Conda is the app we're calling. We're typing this in. It says, I'm calling this app called Conda. Now I'm giving it a command. So I'm saying, hey, Conda, It's like, huh? I want you to create something. It's like, and then we're giving it this parameters, okay? And we're don't even worry about it. It's just it's saying just do it without what do you call it? Prompting yes, and then that end means that I'm about to tell you the name. So they actually do this kind of a funny way. I would normally do this like, whoops. I would normally do this like this. I'd put the -y there, and I would go like that, okay? But it does the same thing. So it's basically saying don't prompt me again. Don't say, are you sure you want to do this? And also, by the way, that end means I'm giving you the name that we're creating. The name of the environment we're creating is Chatterbox. And then after this, I'm also putting Python 3.11 to say, I want you to download this particular Python and use it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and press enter, but mine's already been created. Yours will come up. It'll take a moment. And then it will get to the good stuff. Okay, do beep bop. Okay, so it goes through here, solve an environment. And I'm actually, looks like it's installing. I don't know why it's installing it again. I already did this. That's kind of weird. Okay, anyway, whatever. So we're going to go back over to the browser, and we will go back to our directions. And now notice we need to activate that virtual environment. So a virtual environment, basically, what it does is it separates programs that we're using from the rest of our system. So like if your kids are painting on the table, like you're letting them paint on the table, you put down a tarp so that they don't actually paint on the wood. And in the same way, that's what a virtual environment is. It's like a tarp we're putting over our system. So whatever we do with this app, it's not going to affect our bigger system. When we don't use that, we get what's called system pollution. And then that's like the paint getting on the table, and you can't chip away. You can wash the table, but paint remains. You got to chip away at it. It causes system pollution. Okay. Let's move that a little bit. Hey, whoa. All right. So we can create the virtual environment, but we have to activate it as well. So then we type Conda. We're like, hey, Conda. It's like, I want you to activate the virtual environment named Chatterbox. It's like, oh, okay. So we go ahead and do that. And now you'll notice we are in the virtual environment Chatterbox. And you can tell because now if we just keep hitting enter or whatever we do, it's going to say Chatterbox over here, which means that you're in the environment. Okay? So that means now whatever we install is going to install into this environment, not the system. So now we'll go over here. Now we're going to git clone. Okay? So git clone, when we're working with GitHub, see, it holds all the files, so we need to get all these files, and so we git clone them. So we use git to clone the repository, right, to make a copy of it. So we'll paste that in there. Git again is the application that pulls these things down. If you're getting an error that says that git isn't recognized, that means your system's not set up. You got to download git. Okay, so we're going to pop back over to here, and then we're going to paste this in here. And essentially, what we're going to do is we're saying git, and it's like, we want you to clone something, and we want you to clone this directory that's located here. And what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and it's going to create a folder called Chatterbox. Okay, so we'll go ahead and hit the enter. It's going to clone into the Chatterbox. Now, if we type dir, which stands for directory, it's going to show us that it's created a directory called Chatterbox. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we can go back to our browser and look what it wants to do. It wants us to go into that directory. So cd means change directory. We're going to do that. And then it wants us to pip install the directory. So let's go back over to here and we'll type in cd Chatterbox. Now notice we are now in the Chatterbox directory, not to be confused with our virtual environment. Our virtual environment could have been called anything. It could have been called my favorite virtual environment ever that I've ever had. And that would be the name of the virtual environment, although it would be a pain in the butt to type that in there. But we called it Chatterbox. We named the folder Chatterbox. Now if we type dir, you're going to see we've got a bunch of files in here. But we need to install them. We need to get the dependencies. So what we're going to do is we're going to type pip install -e. We're saying install the directory. And we're saying that dot means this directory. Basically, we're installing everything in this directory. Now, before we do this, I want to show you what it's going to do. Is it's going to look for this file right here, this pyproject.toml. So inside of this file is going to be everything that we end up installing. Now, if you got an AMD card, you're fine. But for us NVIDIA guys, I want to show you something. And you have to be very careful about this kind of stuff when installing this, because this is quite a common thing. So let me go ahead. I'm going to type notepad pyproject.toml. And that's going to open up the, we got to spell it right. Hold on. I put pry. And that's going to open up our file in Notepad. So let's go over to here real quick. And it opens up this folder here, which has all the instructions for what it's going to install. Now notice, there's the dependencies it's going to install. Notice it's installing Torch 2.6.0, Torch Audio, but notice there's nothing about CUDA. Now when we're running NVIDIA stuff, we have to use CUDA, or else it's not even worth it. It's gonna go slow. So we're gonna have to fix this, but we'll go ahead and let it install it. I mean, or we could just delete it. What we could do is just delete this like this. You can highlight it and delete it. Okay, that would be probably the fastest way, because we're gonna have to uninstall it anyways. But let's go back here. Okay, back to our command prompt. Now let's go ahead and type pip install -e period. Now it's going to go ahead. It's going to go through all of this, and it's going to go through that toml file. Okay, and it's going to install it. Now we're going to need to manually install the torch. So let's really quickly, while this is doing its thing, let's go back over to here, and I'm going to put these back in here, because we need Torch 2.6, Torch 2.6, and Torch Audio. So I'm going to copy these, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my browser, and I'm going to go over to ChatGPT, and I'm going to just go chat.openai.com, and I'm going to say I need to pip install this with CUDA, and then I'm going to paste it in there, and it's going to give me the correct command. Okay, so notice it's going to still put it in there, pip install plus CUDA 2.1 but it's going to give us this over here, this index, all that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and copy this, because we're going to need to put this into our command prompt. So let's go over here, and you can see it's still installing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this until it's done, and then we'll come back, and then we need to manually install the Torch and the Torch Audio. Okay, and so that ended. We had to wait a few minutes. Did you miss me? Okay, and now we're here. So now we need to go ahead and install the Torch and the Torch Audio. I'm going to type CLS just to clear the screen. Now, if you didn't do what I did with the Notepad, you can still uninstall it. You would type pip uninstall Torch and Torch Audio. Okay, and it would go in there, and it would do it. Okay, we're not going to do any of that though, because I've got the right one. Then what we would do is we would paste in what we got from ChatGPT. Okay, then that threw us an error, because ChatGPT let us off a cliff a little bit here. So it put Q at 121. We just changed this to 126 on here. So we're going to hit that, enter that. My apologies. Then it's going to go ahead and install the correct CUDA for us. So we'll just wait for that to get done, and then we're pretty much ready to go. Okay, and there now it has installed for us. So we're actually ready to go here. So let's go ahead and type CLS here to clear the screen. That stands for clear screen. Okay, and if we type DIR, you're going to see we've got a couple different things here. We're looking for our Gradio apps. Okay, so Gradio, and first one's going to be your text to speech. So that's going to be where we actually cloning voices, and this, well, it says voice clone. Actually, I'm not sure which one. I think text to speech is going to be where we're writing it in and giving it, and then they're calling voice cloning what I was calling voice transfer. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab this first one first. What I'm going to do is just highlight this, hit Control C. Now notice every time we want to run this, you're going to have to be in your virtual environment. So you're going to have to type conda activate Chatterbox, okay? And then you type Python, because Python is our interpreter, so others that reads Python files and translates it so Windows understands it. So we're going to type Python, and then we're just going to paste that in there, but we need to add the py. So it's going to run this file, okay? So let's go ahead and run it, okay? And what it will do is it will download your models. So this can take a little bit of time the first time you run it, and you will see. We'll see if it goes here fast enough that you'll see the models start to download. So let me pause it until that happens. And by the way, that does remind me that I'm going to need to let you know that this has to run in an administrator mode. So if you try running this and you're not in administrator mode, you will get an error. Okay, now notice we actually did pop up an error. It says no module named Gradio. So it didn't tell us to install in Gradio. So let's go ahead and type pip install Gradio. Okay. See, a lot of times we get all confused. We look at this, we go, I don't know what this means. Just look at the pretty much the last thing. No module named Gradio means it doesn't have it. So we just pip install it. Whoops. Of course, I hit a stupid key at the end. Okay, there we go. So now it's going to go ahead and install Gradio. I need like installation music. Should be done in a second, but I'm going to pause it so you don't have to wait, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now that it's installed, let's go back. I'm going to just hit the up arrow, and then we'll actually repeat what we already did. So now let's go ahead and run the app. Let me just wait for it. So much of this stuff is just waiting, you know. So let's pause it, and it'll start to download the models, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, and here it comes. And now notice mine actually didn't download the models. So this is downloading into, not locally into the folder. It's downloaded onto your system. So keep that in mind that it's using Hugging Face to download it. So sometimes what models do, let's say I create a directory, and that directory is called my directory. And then I need 8 gigabytes of models, and it installs it they download those into that directory. What this did is it said, your Windows system says, hey, regardless of whatever folder you're using, we have a system-wide folder where we're keeping this stuff. Come to us. We have cake, right? And so the system installed into that place instead of there. Now that's both good and bad. So like good in the sense like here when I needed to run this, I didn't have to re-download the models again. Bad in the sense that if I don't have a lot of room on my C drive, which is where it's going to put that, then it's going to take up that space, and then I got to clear it out manually. So I generally prefer to do it, but into the folder. But this is the way this app works. This app downloads into your system-wide folder. All right, so let's go back to here. Okay, so notice once it's all done, it's going to pop up. It's going to give you this local URL. So let's copy it. And remember, you have to run this in admin mode. It will not work if you don't run it in admin mode. So we go back to our browser. We paste this bad boy in. And there we have it. Okay. It's got the text. You can write your text in there. You grab the voice that you want to clone. Okay.
I want to tell you about GetGoingFast. The best way to get...
Okay. And then you just click generate. Now, I should be able to do this because this actually is a very efficient text-to-speech process. So even though I've got all this other AI stuff going on, it should work. No, once this loads up, guys, this will take just like a second. Like it's very fast. Okay. But we'll let that do its thing. Now let's go back here. While it's doing its thing, I want you to notice, let's scroll up here. Notice that up here, we also have this VC app.py. Okay, so it's actually giving you 2 applications in here. I don't know why they didn't just blend it into one, but you've got 2 apps. If you want to run your the one that we just looked at, you have to run TTS app.py. If you want to do the voice cloning, okay, then you got to run this one. Okay, now you can create a bat file to do this, which is essentially what I did with the file over on GetGoingFast. In fact, let me show you what that looks like. And over here, you'll see this is the file you get when you download Chatterbox here. And it has an install. That's the install that we're doing. But it has this run. And if we click that run, it actually pops up this screen over here. Let me show you what that looks like. And you'll see that it gives you a couple options. So you press 1 or you press 2, and then that actually activates the virtual environment and loads up the correct one. Okay? But, okay. So over here, this is still running. So it's taking too much time because I've got so much AI stuff going on. So that's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to pop back over to here. And this is what was running now. Again, this is just taking slow because I've got so much stuff running on my computer while I'm streaming this to you. So I'm just going to cancel this out. Come on, cancel, baby. Okay, so it's going to, see, it's killing the tunnel. Okay, so it's going to be done. It's going to put us back. God, this is all over the place. Back to where we need to be, which is here. Okay, so now let's type dir. And you'll see we're still in our virtual environment. Now let's load this one, this example VC. So same thing, we just copy it, and then we'll type Python, paste it, do it, and then hit enter. And it'll do the same thing as the other one did. It'll load it up and give us our fancy dancy thingamajobber. Oops, I posted the wrong one in there. I put example. We need the Gradio app. So now it'll load. And just like that, it loads up. And same thing, we can just copy the address, go over to our browser, paste it in, and then notice this one's different. This one we install the one that we want to use, the words we want to use it from, and then we target it over to a second voice over here. Okay, and that's how you use the Gradio app. Okay, real easy, real simple. Not that difficult. The main issue being that with the torch, you have to make sure that that if you do install it the way it is, you have to uninstall torch audio, and then install the correct CUDA version. Or you can open up the notepad, okay? Just delete it so it doesn't do it, but then you got to get the correct one. Understanding that ChatGPT might lead you off a cliff. You need CUDA 126. All right, let's from here go on, and we're going to look at the ComfyUI nodes real quick, okay? All right, before we do that, though, do go and do a Google search for YouTube music and find Jim Day and the Better Stories, actually available on any streaming platform. And then you can listen to good music like this.
Well, I was born to ride the range with a pickup truck that's high-tech and strange. Got a self-driving Ford with a mind of its own. Guess I should have known it wouldn't stay home. She left me in the dust, took off down the road, didn't even glance back, didn't even slow. Guess AI's got dreams just like you and me. Now my truck's chasing sunsets, wild and free.
All right, so now to go ahead and get this installed in ComfyUI, we're going to do a similar thing. We're going to go to our Google search, and we're going to type Chatterbox, but we're going to type ComfyUI. All right, and it's going to bring us up here, this ComfyUI Chatterbox TTS Invoice Conversion node. So we're going to go ahead and grab this one. Maybe could use this other one, but we're going to use this one. And it's really easy. We're going to go down here, installation. Now this is for a manual installation, okay? Now I know they have portable installations. I can kind of give you an idea how to do that, but we really work with manual installations with GetGoingFast.pro just because it's easier, it's better, you know what you're doing. If you need a manual version, just go to comfy.getgoingfast.pro. And you can actually get a free script over here, and this will install ComfyUI for you, along with all of the accelerators, you know, Sage Attention, Torch, Triton, all that. I mean, Triton, all that, Flash Attention, all that good stuff. Okay, so going back over here, we're going to notice we go down to the installation. Okay, and it's going to have us clone this repository. Now, it says we can do a couple different things. It says we can install via the ComfyUI manager, so we could try this as well. I typically just like to do this because then I know it's going to work. So we just clone this repository, and I'm going to show you where you put that. So we're going to go ahead and copy this. Then we're going to pop over to our Explorer over here. Okay, and so we're going to go to what's called outside of our ComfyUI folder. You'll notice if we click here, it takes us inside of our ComfyUI folder. So typically, this is outside, what we're referring to. If you're installing from GetGoingFast, you're going to drop your stuff in here and just click it here. It's going to install everything. But we're going to do this manually. We're going to click into our ComfyUI. Then we're going to see there's a folder called Custom Nodes. So we click it, okay? Go inside of it. Then up here at the top, we're just going to go ahead and paste this get clone command. So again, we're going to we're calling get, hey, get, say clone this, okay? And it's going to go ahead and clone it, and it's going to put it, you'll see it click up, and it's going to clone it down into here. So I think I already did it, but let me just do it just to make sure. So it pops up, yep, and there it goes. And you'll notice it's going to create a folder called ComfyUI Chatterbox. And there it is right there. So let's go back to our browser. And the browser says after this, we need to install the dependencies. Okay, so notice it's going to say, showing us the directory. It's okay. We're going to need to do this. We're going to need to get into the command line to do this. It's fine though. But we're going to go ahead and pip install the requirements. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy this. If you notice that going back to our File Explorer, when we go inside the Chatterbox, you're going to notice there's a requirements.txt file, and that has all of our dependencies. But now here's the trick. We have to install this in the virtual environment, okay? So to install our manual virtual environment, we're going to go ahead and open up our command line, okay? Now, with my system, all I have to do is right click. If you got Windows 11, you just got to right click and say open in terminal. It will open it up. If you're in Windows 10, click up into here, highlight all of this, okay, and just copy it. Then what you can do is open up a command prompt like this, okay, and let's get over to it real quick. And you'll just get to a place like this. Man, these windows are so off today. It's just driving me nuts. Okay, then just type CD as in change directory and then paste in the directory. And that's going to take you straight there. Now, we have to activate the virtual environment. The virtual environment is found all the way back in this folder, okay? So we're here, but we need to be here. So what we're going to do is we can use what are called ... And that means going back one directory. So you're going to see we want to go back two directories to activate. So what we're going to do is we're going to go call, and I'm going to go ... backslash. You can tell it's a backslash because it's leaning, the top part of it's leaning to the left. ... So go back two directories is what I'm telling it. Then I'm saying go into a directory that's called vim, to another directory called scripts, and then activate. And notice it's going to activate our virtual environment. Now notice this one's not called Chatterbox because this is our ComfyUI virtual environment, not our Chatterbox. That was for our Gradio app. We're installing stuff into our ComfyUI virtual environment, totally different. And this one is a Python one, and it's called Vim. But still, you can see it's activated because it's right there. Now, having done that, because we used the ... system, we didn't have to leave the folder we're in. So now we can go ahead, paste, we can just go pip. So pip is our Python package installer. Go pip install. We're going to put a -r because we're going to say we want you to install from a file. That R means to read. So read this file called requirements.txt. Okay, then it's going to go through that. Like that. It's just going to go through there and install it. Now mine were already installed, so yours will go a little bit slower because it's going to have to install it. Mine were already done, so it said already done, already done, already done. Now, I want to show you something before we load up our ComfyUI. If we go back to our File Explorer, you're going to see that in here, we have a folder called workflow. We're in the Chatterbox folder. We got a thing called workflow examples. Okay. This is going to be our workflow that we're going to open up ComfyUI with. Okay. So just keep in mind that that's the place where it's located. You could also just copy it and go back to your ComfyUI folder. And I have a folder called workflow. So you could go in there, create a folder called Chatterbox, and then just paste it in there if you wanted to. Okay, but regardless, we need to run this thing. So go ahead to wherever your run is. So I'm going to click my run.comfy.bat. Okay, and it's going to open up like this. Okay, and you can see these screens today. You can see it loading up ComfyUI. And now, depending on how much stuff you have in there, this could take a while. Okay, so it's not a bad idea to reinstall ComfyUI every once in a while, because sometimes it just gets so big and so bloated. Like, I'll probably do that with mine, because right now, just to load it's taking forever. But it'll load, and then we'll load up our workflow, and then we'll update our workflow, and then we'll be ready to use the Chatterbox notes. So let me pause this until we're done, and we'll be right back. Okay, and it loads up, so then we'll just do the same thing as usual. We will go over to here and hold down the control button and click that, and it's going to pop up our ComfyUI over here. Okay, now, like I said, mine has so much stuff here, I'm going to probably have to do some stuff. But okay, so when you get in here, come here, you might have stuff missing. Okay, now I'm going to worry about this. This is actually a different workflow. So normally what you do is you click Manager and then install missing custom nodes, but let's actually make sure we're installing the right stuff. So let's go to Workflow and go to Open. Okay, then what you need to do is drill your way to the place where you have this. So it's going to be under your ComfyUI, Custom Nodes, Chatterbox, Workflow Examples, and in there. And then that's going to pop this up. Now, I've already got it installed, but you're going to have stuff pop up that says that you're missing certain things, like we saw with that other one. So you're going to click Manager, and then you're going to click Install Missing Custom Nodes, and it's going to bring up a list of stuff that's missing. Now, nothing's missing from mine because I already did it, but you'll just click on Install, and then you'll restart everything, and then it'll be fine. Okay, now, let's take a look at this. So here is our TTS stuff. So here's our audio. Notice it's going to give us two outputs. Okay. Save audio, save audio. So one of these is going to be coming from, one of them is just going to be using just this. Or, well, this one, okay, this one will be using this voice, and it'll be taking this, the text prompt, and outputting it to here. This one will be taking this one and this one. See the wires going up there, and it's going to output it to here. Now, when you do it, it's going to just go ahead and save it, which means that you won't be able to preview it. So we want to add a little preview. So let's right click up here, and we're going to go add node, and we're just going down here where it says audio. And let's choose here, there should be one that says preview audio. So click that, and then we're going to take this little here and we're going to attach it there. Okay, easy that way. So not only will it save it, it will also give us the ability to hear it. Okay, so same thing, we'll click add node, click audio, preview audio, same thing. Okay, and you'll be done. And you don't actually have to download the models. It will do everything for you that you need it to do. So this is actually pretty much ready to go as is. Just click here to upload the files you're going to put in there, change your text prompt, and click run, and you're ready to go. And we've changed it to have preview audio. So if you want to save this, go to workflows and click export, and you'll click confirm, and it'll open up with a save box, and you'll just save it. So next time you don't have to create those preview audios. And that's it, guys. That's Chatterbox. You've got Chatterbox installed now in your Gradio app. You've got it installed in your ComfyUI, okay, your manual install. If you're doing this through your a automated the portable version of ComfyUI, you're going to have to go into your Python embedded folder, and you need to use the Python that's in there. ChatGPT can walk you through that. Essentially, with this one, what we did call, and we went back 2 folders and went V and V. With that one, what you're going to need to do back is go back 3 folders, type in Python embedded, and then you're going to have to type Python-M. Ask ChatGPT how to do it, okay? It's a little bit more complicated, but you have to use the Python that's packaged with ComfyUI. But anyways, regardless of all that, we got this going. You guys are in business, chatting it up, making voices, cloning. Look at you guys. You guys are awesome, man. Like, you started like not knowing very much, and now you know so much, and that brings a little tear to my eye. Just a little one, though, just right there in the corner. So thanks a lot for that. Appreciate your time. If you do have questions, hit me up. You're welcome to find me on the Discord. It's a lot of fun hanging out doing this stuff together. It's good to have buddies. So you can be our buddies if you'd like to be our buddies. Hang out with us in the Discord. You can find us over on the Reddit. Come to GetGoingFast.pro, or not pro, Get Going Fast. You'll find us over there. You can follow us on X as CogniBuild, and you can follow us on Instagram as CogniBuild as well. We're everywhere, guys. We're just all around here, and we're happy to support you. If you need help setting stuff up, you can rent my time as well. I'm happy to help you with that. And if you need to get your system set up, you can pay me as well, and I'll come in. I'll give you about 3-4 hours of my own personal time to teach you, okay? And that's like one-on-one tutoring. All right, well, we're going to end it there. So you guys be good. I hope you get out and enjoy some of this sun as well. I know a lot of you guys work hard and then you come home and play with your AI. I hope that you guys get a good weekend, hang out with the family and the kids as well, because AI is good, but real life is great too. Some are so good. So with that, we're going to say goodbye and give you a big hearty yo.